as many hospitals as possible. There were 11 hospitals in the Twin Cities metro area that had the same contract expiration date of 5/31/22. Two hospitals in Duluth, Minnesota had their expiration date of 6/30/22. Similar to the recent victory at the UAW and the Big Three, became fun over a decade of stagnant wages while corporate healthcare CEOs were making multi-million-dollar salaries. Many hospitals experienced a high turnover of nurses due to the traumatic experience of the COVID-19 pandemic. We knew our nursing profession would not be sustainable under these conditions. Unfortunately, the 3-day strike wasn't enough. A second strike vote 2 months later showed that we were ready to walk out 3 more weeks. Our strike readiness forced the hospitals to give us 18% wage increase over 3 years. And I became involved in this campaign as a member of a contract action team, and then as an elected negotiation team member for my hospital. But I wasn't always actively involved before that. M&A leadership had been predominantly white, and I never felt like there was any space for me as a woman of color and an international worker. However, my perspective shifted due to the events in 2020, including the COVID-19 pandemic and the rise in racially motivated attacks against the Asian community. The murder of George Floyd in Minneapolis further exposed the violent struggles of the working class, deeply affecting my sense of justice. I could no longer stay on the sideline. The Contract Action Team, or CAT we call it, held weekly meetings to learn how to organize. I still remember the first thing I said in a meeting. I feel very anxious. When everyone else said that they were ready to fight. The staff organizer took time to explore the feeling and engaged in agitation to challenge the political understanding we had of our lives. This wasn't an eye-opening moment for me. And truthfully, I was encouraged by the fact that staff of color in a predominantly white union was helping us realize our power. The union was not immune from the legacies of the racialized and exclusionary labor movement that divided our power along the class and race line. The CAP members dedicated time to conversations at the departmental level. One unit in particular comprised immigrant nurses who frequently dealt with the challenging behavioral patients and experienced high rates of workplace violence. Other elected leaders said that these nurses were culturally disinterested in the union, feared they would cross the line. This assumption, rooted in racial prejudice and a lack of understanding of the complexities faced by these workers from the global south, broke solidarity. I empathized with the experience, and by simply listening to their concerns, I began building trust with the nurses in the unit, and they became interested in being involved. I also personally experienced difficulty of taking an active role as a woman of color. I found others were quick to dismiss my opinions. I recall when I was talking to the crowd during a strike, an elected union official took the microphone out of my hand. She didn't even think anything of it. The interest in advancing racial justice through our contract wasn't shared widely among active members. I also witnessed my employer's racially discriminatory union busting tactic against our staff organizer of color in the cafeteria where we conducted strike education. 2 security officers backed by the local sheriff accused them of aggressively harassing visitors. I organized negotiation teams from 13 hospitals to publicly denounce the actions. I interviewed with a local TV reporter, shedding light on the hypocrisy. The employer will do anything to break our solidarity. CAT members attended weekly bargaining sessions, many of us the first time. We maximized participation by bringing rank-and-file nurses, selecting those who could speak directly to the employer about the experiences on the bargaining proposals. As engagement grew, so did the divide between our negotiation team and the rest of the nurses. The leadership frequently left the room to caucus during the sessions, excluding the rank-and-file nurses from crucial discussions. We confronted them, and because of our organizing, they agreed to expand the caucus. We were no longer spectators. CAP members also took vital roles in the campaign, such as facilitating weekly all-members meetings, participating in the strike planning, and mobilizing over 400 nurses to occupy the financial district in downtown Minneapolis, home of a U.S. bank and Wells Fargo. Without the member organizing done by the CAT team, we wouldn't have been successful in winning the historic contract.
Yeah.
However, the legacy of the service model takes time to shake. Many decisions during the campaign were primarily made by the staff and to some level by the elected leaders. How will we build a rank-and-file led union if they don't actively make decisions? I wasn't going to stop there. The experience of the 2022 contract campaign led to a reform slate with a strong rank-and-file leaders, and I ran for the first vice president of Minnesota Nurses Association. We set elections, electing the entire slate of 11 to the board of directors. Where do we go from here? We must create our unions from the bottom up, from the rank-and-file members, not from the top, not from the staff. We need a unified militant rank-and-file if we are going to transform the labor movement. Part of that is internationalism. We must stand together in solidarity with workers around the world. This is more vital seeing how the labor movements have reacted to the genocide in Gaza. Especially as healthcare workers, we have a duty not only to call for a ceasefire, but also to demand an end to all U.S. military occupations and for Palestinian liberation.
That's right!
President Fain have put out the world for unions to align our contracts on May 2028 and build towards a nationwide strike strategy. The contract for nurses on the same 13 hospitals are already set to align for that spring, and I hope to organize to be a part of it. And I will even deepen the idea to an international strike strategy, and that will show who has the power. The time is now for us workers to stand up and take back what we are owed, our dignity and the value that our labor produces.